harness update and at Gingras 3. Well, not yet. I gotta call him first. First, I also gotta see we go live, and everything is running smoothly. Turn my voice off because I do not want to hear a single pitch of it. Not a peep, not a pop, not a poop or a pop. And now that I see that we're live, hello everyone, welcome to Often Pacing Live Morning Edition. The race we got in focus today is the National, but of course we're starting a bit early since we have about 13 minutes until the consolation for the National, and then after that the final for the National. So, what I'm about to do is I am dialing up a dear friend of mine. I'm going to call him a dear friend because then maybe, just maybe, I will convince him to be my friend. He is Mr. Yannick Gingras. And he's a Mozart man.
Hello.
Hey, Yannick. How you doing?
How's it going? Good, how's it going?
It's going all right. I was just surprised I got the classical music when I called you.
Yeah, I gotta update that, don't I?
I mean, it's classy. You can keep
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's not the way I mean, I really want it, but that's what it's on there now.
You want it to be something like more hardcore to kind of go with your personality.
Yeah, something like that, yeah, I guess.
Well, Yannick, I want to start out by asking if you remember a moment. Oh God, it had to be like 5 years ago. You were driving hard living in the Hambletonian, and there was a little pipsqueak boy whose father came up to you and introduced him to you.
I remember hard living, but I don't remember meeting that boy, unfortunately.
Oh, okay,
I'm
because
assuming it's you, right?
I don't remember either. If that's how we're gonna be. Uh, no, but that was the first time I met you, and since then you can see just how far I've gotten.
Yeah, that's cool, absolutely.
But also too, it's amazing to see just how much this game has progressed too, and it's only been like 6 months, and it's already has this fan base of over like 3 or 4 thousand people. People are tweeting about it on a minutely, hourly, daily basis, and I'm curious, when did you first find out about the game?
Maybe about maybe in March or something around March. That's when I first heard about it, and it's definitely taken off, quite a bit since then. There's no doubt about it. Everybody's talking about it now, which is great. So.
And I saw too the moment you got on, just very much like me, you were just hooked.
Absolutely, for sure. Like I think it's fun. I think it bring people, bring some buzz about the sport, which is nice. I mean, we need that, and I think it's a breath of fresh air that the sport needed for sure.
And so too, another thing that's important, well, not important, but interesting, is how your kids too have gotten involved, and we're having a lot more people who aren't of the gambling age or even of the interest in horse racing downloading the app, racing horses, and gaining some kind of interest in racing. So, like for instance, with your son, did you just show him the game, or did he see you were playing it and got interested?
No, definitely, showed him the game and stuff, and that's what's cool about it is that he never really used to be into liking the horses and stuff. He's never really been involved with it and stuff, and then for him to get interested in racing really made it all worthwhile for me. You know what I mean? Like made it so much fun for me to be doing something together. Like he plays games like that all the time. To be able to have something in common with him made it really special for me.
Why do you think it was that he wasn't interested in racing? Is it because I know, like when I was a kid too, it just didn't appeal to me either. I'm curious if that's kind of like a universal thing because it just doesn't grab your attention off the bat.
Yeah, I think it has something to do with it, for sure. That, I just think he's got different interests. He's never really been around the horses and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then, so it definitely made it different for me. You know what I mean? For him, I mean, now having that, like, he's learning about racing terms and all that, that kind of stuff. So that, I think it made it really, really cool.
So when are you gonna let him make his first bet?
Yeah, what?
I was just making a joke. When are you gonna let him make his first bet? I just woke up, so
Well, honestly, like when I was a kid, I used to go to the track with my dad's owners and stuff, and I was betting at his age already. So not, I mean, $2 to show most of the time, but they, yeah, you can make his own bet. No, obviously you can't make his own bet, but you could bet if you want. You know, what I mean, it's that's not a problem with me, but that's not the way you should take it. That's for sure.
point being is you gotta catch up, son. I got so
Yeah,
many years on you.
yeah, exactly.
So, uh, like you drive everywhere. You're not you don't only drive everywhere. You have to drive everywhere to drive everywhere. You're constantly in transit. And how do you find the time to be able to manage a stable between
Yeah,
your
it's
day?
not easy. That's why I try to reduce it a little bit because it's getting to be a second time, well, a full time job. No,
Hmm.
no doubt about it. When you got so many horses, so now try to keep it low on keep the better horses and try to get rid of the horses that are just average.
But still, it's interesting how the horsemen who are working day in day out almost every single hour are able to also be a part of this community, and it's almost like you have the horsemen being with the fans because you kind of
Yeah,
don't have that at tracks anymore.
yeah, no, yeah, I agree. You know what I mean, like, and I think it's just, I mean, it's fun, and I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think people are finding the time, even though they're busy and stuff like that. I mean, there's always time for for stuff like this, and I think I think it's a great thing.
Well, I mean, if you get hooked like I do, you find time too.
Exactly, exactly.
Like, I see some people who have stables of like 100 horses, and I dread just having to enter 30. I, I wake up the next morning and I regret having claimed everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, you wake up the next morning, you got like a little 30 number there. You know what I mean? So like 30 horses to enter. Yeah, it definitely gets to be a lot, no doubt about it. You know what I mean? And then I find also for myself anyway, like if I have too many, then I end up not watching the races even because yeah, I'm not going to watch 25 replays when I'm in the next morning or something. So like I'd rather have a little less race horses and then be able to watch them, so enjoy it more that way.
Yeah, exactly. It's impossible to be that invested. And that's the thing too. It's kind of frightensome to me is how like we talk about it so realistically to the point where we think that these are real animals. It's getting to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
that
yeah.
engrossing.
Yeah, I know, right? I agree with that. You know what I mean? Like, you really. And I mean, the funny part is when I do anyway. You get mad about something. You know what I mean? Like you gotta keep things in perspective here. You know what I mean?
It's funny too how it's more common to hear people ranting about a driver's drive in the game than in real life.
Well, well, sometimes I hope we don't drive like that. Maybe that's why they don't get so mad at me. I don't know, but I'm sure they get mad about our regular drivers drive as well. I'm sure.
No, I kind of want to talk about your driving itself before we go because I've watched you drive since I was a little pipsqueak, as I told you, and it's been interesting to see how you've kind of become the top of the sport, if I can say that, and you can take that as a compliment. But it's interesting to just see how you've grown to be so aggressive. Like I knew you as an aggressive driver before, but I feel like that's definitely what sets you aside from a lot because people just tend to sit a lot of times and hope for the best. But how do you think you're able to be so aggressive as a driver?
Well, you mean in the game or in real life?
Oh, not in the game. No, no, not in the game.
Well, I think it's in real life. I think it's the horse can carry their speed so far. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like I think you can go almost like 7/8 of a mile at full speed with these horses, and they just need a little bit of a breather to be able to get it done. So if you're too far, if you find yourself too far back, I found that you can't reach. Yeah, you can go fast. They can come back like let's say big last half or something, but they just can't reach. You know what I mean? The horse on the front don't stop.
Hmm.
So I am aggressive because I think that's what works. You know what I mean? If if the back end, no, if let's say they would find a way, maybe with bank turn, with deeper surface and stuff like that to make the backfield being more of a factor,
Hmm.
I'd race from the back. It's not like that I want or need to be on the front every race. It's just that's what works to
Hmm.
me anyway. That's what I see, and that's what I'm doing that.
Well, Yannick, thank you for the time. Now I gotta get to calling some races.
All right,
All right, you take care. Thank you very much.
no problem. Anytime.
All right, bye bye. Yannick Gingras, harness driver extraordinaire of the country of the United States of America, and in the game of Australia, which is also its own continent. It's a 2-for-1 deal if you want to look at it that way. America, on the other hand, is not a continent. It's not. It's just not. Oh boy. Okay, so coming up next is the national consolation. The national consolation. I don't know why I'm pronouncing it like that. But we got a field of 10 going postward here for $1 million. Now, I gotta pause and do that. I am obliged to say that in the Austin Powers voice. Wait, Dr. Evil. Or is it Dr. Evil? I don't remember. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm tired. $1 million. 10 horses lining up here. Of note, a horse that I've seen a lot of as I've covered these races, and also for being on Twitter, because this horse sold for a couple $1 million a couple seasons ago. Duramax 6'6", now racing for the Transcendent stable, a winner of 40 races and 79 starts. He's earned $5.4 million. You don't see horses earn this much money in real life, so it's kind of dumbfounding, but at the same time shows that this game is undergoing massive inflation. But he's coming in off a 5th place finish in the Big Thinker final. That's a $1.2 million stakes event over at Princely Raceway. And he went that mile in 53 and 3. Prior to that was 5th in an open here at National. Well, not here at National Downs. I think National Downs because it's the National. This is at the big show. But he seems to be somewhat regressive. However, he still shows some 46 miles, albeit they're at Hilltop. And Hilltop is a naturally faster track. If anything, scrolling through this field, I see week 40 Purchase coming in. He won the Big Thinker Consolation. He's got some speed. Gonna be happy. Trying to go over $2 million in earnings with this race off a 7th place finish in his Big Thinker Consolation. Jingle Ball is a horse that I remember. I remember a lot of these horses. It's interesting to see them coming back. And like I said to Yannick, they become real at some point. There's also James Bear, who, oh, that's fast. He's coming in off a 151-1 win at Gold Coast Downs. Gold Coast Downs is a very rough track. Horses don't have an easy time getting over it because it's a slower track in general. Very much like Princeton Raceway. So 51-1 actually pops off the page a lot, though he's only been going 48 and change and some opens here and there. Really, this is a pretty wide open race. A lot of these horses are kind of just in this, not the backlog of their career, or at the very least, they just aren't at the top of their form. And so with them mixing, oh wait, I see New Kid on the Block. It's probably going to be New Kid on the Block now that I see him, because he's coming off a 146-4 win. He was 2nd in 47-1 the start before that. This $3 million earner for Chrisman Beer Racing has won 32 races and 65 starts. I can't believe I overlooked this horse, because now that I see that, I'd have to say it's probably going to be him as we're getting ready to go here for the National Consolation. 1 minute until post time for this race. I'm still going to kind of stick with what I said, though. This could be a very wide open race, because New Kid on the Block usually comes from off the pace. He's a closer. But then again, there's also not a lot of strong speed in this race. So we could see the front collapse and set up for New Kid on the Block to go even higher in his earnings ranks and approach the $4 million threshold, because he's already at 3 right now. As we're getting ready to go here with 30 seconds to post. By the way, Mike Prebosi will not be joining me this morning. He is saving lives like the man, like just the generous man he is, and I feel touched and blessed to even know someone that can contribute to humanity more than I do. All right, 15 seconds to post time for the National Consolation. We got Skywalker, we got Ace Block, we got New Kid on the Block, we got Duramax 6'6", got Week 40 Purchase, got Gonna Be Happy, got Jingle Balls, got James Bear, got Tucker Hanover on the far outside, Blow the Horn. This is the National Consolation, and it's in motion and approaching the start. They're off and pacing. Gonna Be Happy leaves well from the center, leaving out 2, then to his outside, Jingle Balls, then Ace Block. moves up the rail to take the pocket as they move around that first turn, getting away third, then Skywalker from New Kid on the Block, pacing fourth. Fifth, then Duramax 6-6 as they move to that opening quarter, parked out. Week 40 purchase, now surpassed by James Bear to the inside, as well as Jingle Balls as they move on to that first panel. Gonna Be Happy finally clears in 25 seconds flat. Ace Block sits second as they move on to the backstretch. Skywalker's third, then it's New Kid on the Block fourth. Duramax 6-6 bank fifth, then James Bear is sixth. Jingle Balls seventh, and it's Tucker Hanover, Blow the Horn, and residing in the rear. Week 40 purchase relegated to last. Half mile bound now, Gonna Be Happy. A length in front of Ace Block sitting second. Skywalker's third. New Kid on the Block still fourth. No movement yet after the leader as they pass the half in 53-2. 28-2 for that second quarter. Moving to that far turn, Gonna Be Happy and Kevin Tooman now to be challenged by Skywalker as Bongiorno pulls out a third. Uncovered Overland only a half length off the lead, now taking second. Ace Block with needing racing room paces third, while New Kid on the Block is fourth, now boxed in as Tucker Hanover's rallying to pick up the cover of Skywalker. They come to three quarters. Gonna Be Happy hooks up with Skywalker in 121-2. Ace Block locked in, shuffled to fourth. Week 40 purchase moving up too, as now three wide comes Tucker Hanover. They're into the stretch. Gonna Be Happy kicks away to a length lead. Skywalker though trying to reel him in. Ace Block angles off the rail as Skywalker takes the lead. New Kid on the Block with room now as they come onto the eighth pole. Ace Block takes the lead from Skywalker, but New Kid on the Block is sweeping by, and it's the New Kid on the Block to take the national consolation over Ace Block, over Skywalker, and over Duramax 6-6 in 146-2. All right. That was a very good race, and as we hypothesized, it was it again? New Kid on the Block. As I switch over the scene because I haven't figured out how to not do that yet. But anyway, so that was the national consolation, $1 million. Interesting enough, the national purse for this year pumped up a bit. It's a little higher. It was $2 million for the last couple of seasons, and this season it's going for $3 million. Now, I've only graduated high school, and I was like 18th in my class, so I think $3 million is a lot more than two. I'm gonna need some confirmation on that, but we'll save that for later as we're getting ready here. 5 minutes to post. 4 technically because it's $3 million, but 4 minutes, the national final. This is, again, a $3 million race. We got a lot of familiar faces in the off and pacing world, 3 of which that I've seen before. Just a Rumble for my main man, Derek Givner, the just unstoppable filly who's won 115 races in 155 starts, earning $7.6 million. Why can't I own that horse? Also a familiar face for me, Peppermint Princess. Oh, what race? I think it was the Bridge Stakes that I saw her last. My voice has to reach this register when I'm thinking. Oh, and then on the far outside too is Ren and Stimpy. I remember him as a 2-year-old, and now, oh god, he's 5 now? Oh my god, I'm so old. This horse has won 59 races and 78 starts. Wait, am I reading that right? He's earned $11 million? Yeah, that's just ridiculous. You see, it's the top 1% of horses that are taking the 99% of money from the rest of us horse owners. Zingies has only earned $2.2 million this year. And Ren and Stimpy's earned like 5 times that. Well, in his life. But not this year. That's incredible. Let's see how he did it. So looking at his past performances, he was second in the Big Thinker. That's a $300,000 payday. He won his Big Thinker elimination. He won a Legends qualifier. He won the Cabin Open. That's a big check. He won another Legends qualifier. I'm just seeing win after win after win after win after win. So that's probably why we have... What's the deal with Ren and Stimpy? I for some reason, regress into a Jerry Seinfeld when I'm impressed or surprised or confused, plex fused, I don't know. Someone, for some reason, drives an '07 Titan, and now we're seeing this horse here. Probably does not have the equal amount of horsepower as the '07 Titan. I don't even know if it's a car. I'm just assuming it's made by Mitsubishi. But this horse is racing for Chops Champs, is a 27-time winner and 127 tries. Regardless, is earned $2.2 million, coming off a 9th place finish over at Eagle Downs, albeit it was from post 10. But 2 starts ago, was able to win off a perfect trip in 147. Seems like this horse is very post dependent because his post will determine where he gets off the gate usually, and he prefers to be sitting somewhat off of the mix. But another interesting one here, Severus, who I purely like for the name. It's just a very rad Latin name. If he was running for emperor of the Byzantine Empire, I would probably elect him, but I don't think they had democracy in the Byzantine Empire. Severus, however, coming off a 146-4 wire-to-wire win, so you know this horse has speed. You know that he also doesn't need speed because he won in 46-3 3 starts ago at the big show, sweeping to the lead at the half, and then going all the way. However, interestingly enough, loses his main driver of Greg Sugars, picks up Peter Kleinhands. That's an interesting change because Greg Sugars does not have another drive in this race. So I wonder if that's a glitch or if he was able to choose that. I don't know. However, we have 1 minute to go here for the national final, $3 million purse, and I have to say this for the often pacing gods that are, and I also got to do the little ritual dance because Derek Givner thinks when I call him my best bud and I think his horse is going to win at Jinx's, so I gotta do the little ritual dance that you cannot see, thankfully, because it's embarrassing, but I'm rooting for my buddy Derek Givner by calling upon the gods. There's a little hymn too that goes like, oh, exactly like that. 10 seconds to go. That was a perfect song time amount to pray to the often pacing gods that Juster Rumble does not lose, or else I don't think Derek Givner will be my friend anymore. They're moving behind the gate. They're in motion and approaching the start. Off-fan pacing in the national final. An '07 Titan is flying out for Kevin Tooman. Out to Ren and Stimpy. Going to be wide around that first turn. As to the inside, Juster Rumble, Archie's Dream, and King Ike Turner all leave for positioning. And in front now, Juster Rumble with that rail post has a half-length advantage on Archie's Dream, now marches up swiftly to take the lead, moving to that first quarter in 24-3. That may be the fastest quarter in often pacing history as they move on to the backstretch. Juster Rumble now sits second, King Ike Turner parked out in third, then it's Severus to the inside fourth. Ren and Stimpy caught behind Dull Cover, fifth to the outside of Riggy Man pacing sixth, and then it's Hauling Ash to the inside of '07 Titan, who's third over right now in eighth, ninth to the inside, Peppermint Princess, and last of all is Antolito onto the half. Archie's Dream and Sean Beer past that station in 53 seconds, 28-2 for that second quarter, moving to that far turn. Juster Rumble in a perfect striking position right now, a length off the lead second. Severus is 2 on third, only 2 lengths away for Peter Kleinhands. Then it's back to Riggy Man, who takes fourth as King Ike Turner is dropping out of the mix, taking with him Ren and Stimpy coming to 3/4. It's Archie's Dream, unchallenged, unfazed, unpressured, as he comes to that 3/4 panel in 1:20-4. Juster Rumble second, Severus third out of the pocket now. Juster Rumble as they're into the stretch. Archie's Dream trying to sustain the lead on the outside. Juster Rumble trying to angle off the rails. Severus, and then behind them, Riggy Man coming to the 8th pole. Juster Rumble takes the lead. Severus angles out and is trying to edge up, but it's Juster Rumble as they come on down to the finish. Juster Rumble and Tyler St. Louis are gonna take it. They take the national final from Severus, Archie's Dream, and Riggy Man in 1:46-1. You see, You were laughing at my often pacing prayer, but whatever greater power above me rules over this algorithm bestowed this gift to my friend Derek Givner. Now, I know what you're thinking. I did not tell Ryan to make Just a Rumble win, alright? Ryan barely talks to me anymore. But, and you could probably tell why, but a little hope and a little faith can go a long way. Not a lot though. A lot is that's where it becomes a little bit troublesome and not beneficial to your life really, because then you just kind of become absorbed with it. But this is not the show to talk about it. The show where I'll probably talk about it is North American Harness Update, which is a show about harness racing that I try really hard not to make it about harness racing. That airs from 9 to 11 p.m. on Fridays at SRN1, 148.ca/1. You'll find me. Well, you'll hear me. You'll hear Mike Prebosi. You'll hear Rod Allums Jr., who you may know as a driver in often pacing in America that parks your horses when they don't deserve to be parked, and they had every chance to win. I had some Zips McGruber flashbacks, so you can pardon me for that. But that show is Friday. Today is Wednesday. You have 2 days to make your plans, to gather your families around the fireplace and listen to whatever in the heck I talk about. I sometimes don't know, but it's interesting to just see what can come out of a little man's head. Not like little, I was just gonna say little boy, but that's a little creepy. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go get caffeinated, start my day. I hope you started your day just the way you hoped you would, with a nice little often pacing broadcast. We had a lot of excitement, a lot of yelling. We had Yannick Gingras, who I want to thank again for joining us. Next broadcast, undetermined at this point, but we will let you know on Twitter, both at NA Harness Update and at And Pacing. But until then, I have been and will continue to be Ray Catolo, and I hope you too will continue to be you. I got really Mr. Rogers-y at the end. See you later.